Talking about sharing information.
Yes.
How well do they share information? Because we have so many agencies, and to us, some of them even overlap.
Exactly. Well, my colleagues here have said a lot. What I understand is a major issue we have in the country right now is processing the intelligence that we have, and also there is no unifying factor. There is no unity amongst all the agencies of government, and information that's being gathered usually is supposed to come from the entry points into the country. Like, for instance, in developed world, they actually categorize their intelligence into 3 categories. They have strategic intelligence, operational intelligence, and instantaneous intelligence. You know, strategic intelligence, this is actually meant for the big boss, the real people who will strategize on how things should be done, while the operational are the people that do the day-to-day running, like the police, like DSS and all the people, while the instantaneous are the people on the field. That's tactical. A tactical intelligence for you need to do it now. Now, for instance, information is received from immigration, for instance. The military is on the field looking for one terrorist or whoever they're looking for. Immigration receives an intelligence of the person coming in. It doesn't have a tool to communicate with those people on the field. Now, for instance, I know the government is doing a lot, and the NSA also is really working, but there's this communication gap amongst all the agencies, and they really need to work to achieve this. I know they're working towards it. I know, and I'm aware as well, that the government is also trying to find a solution to communication problems amongst all the agencies. Again, we need to, to fight the rivalry that comes with that. We have the police, who is at the loggerhead with the civil defense. We have the civil defense, who does not want to agree that the police is a superior power. We have DSS, who wants to arrest the police somewhere. And then, I don't understand how we then want to combat those people who are terrorizing our people. Again, we need to know the real reason why we are security agents. Is it for the people, or for ourselves, or for the government? The people should be the end consumer of your services. They should be the people that you are protecting, and then every other thing you have amongst yourselves should be secondary. So, for instance, we believe in technology these days. I don't know if our government agencies review their tactics. I don't know if they review their way of getting this information, but I think we are not moving away from what is the norms, what we normally do. I know a lot of people use human intelligence, this and that, but there are a lot of gadgets right now that can give you real-time intelligence. Then you have experts who can process this intelligence.
Such as tapping our phones, right?
You don't have to tap your phone. You don't have to tap your phone.
Can I just come what we lack, because equipment you can get from anywhere, and they're all proprietary. You understand? Until we start developing our own hardware in Nigeria. But at the moment, what we lack is the software. Software has to be locally developed. We should not, and we cannot be buying off the shelf or ready-made software from abroad.
Specific.
Yes, and we should not have people come from abroad to come and develop our own softwares for us. It should be homegrown. We have to look at it, because there's a lot of research that is involved. That means going into the national security, behind the doors, as it were, of our national security processes across the board, and coming up with indigenous solutions that nobody knows about.
But don't we have that? I mean, if we have indigenous manufacturing of things like helicopters, I mean,
that's hardware.
Hold on. I'm using that as an example.
Yes.
I mean, the Army just displayed that a couple of weeks back,
yeah,
where they were building it by themselves indigenously.
Sure.
If we can do that, and many will say that's usually like the end, that means the software, which is usually the starting point, is already on ground. If we can do that, don't you think we have something like that?
No. Even though they probably build helicopters, but where's the proprietary information from? Do you understand me? It might not be their own proprietary right. It might be coupling, but software is coded from scratch.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's based on your processes. In terms of everybody, like I said, you must develop your own intelligence. it means it must be based on your processes. In order to achieve what he's talking about, using technology to gather as much information as you want, you must be able to look at your processes and define them in such a way that everything is seamless. Do you understand? One, accountability is there, access levels, so that there are no breaches, intelligence breaches and whatnot. Do you understand? Then that information, because across the board you must have analysts, people who sit on the information. Now, information is gathered, like I said, from anywhere. Anywhere. It depends on what your purview is in terms of an in terms of an agency. Some are external threats, some are internal, some are law enforcement. Then you gather your intelligence based on that. The only thing you do in terms of sharing information is not like you just send information, but you can query each other's databases to look for relationships.
Mr. Macri, you were in the system.
Yes.
But so let's look at the issue of the processes, how they interconnect. It looks as if we have the different units working in silos. Each one's doing their own thing. Why is it so difficult for that synergy?
Well, it is not difficult to, have a seamless cooperation, but it's because of how they were set up. And because of the way they were set up, the intelligence agencies, or should I say the security agencies, all of them are trying to either impress the boss, so to say. And
so that what he said to me about the security, your services are for the people, not for the boss.
You see, I don't know if you remember very well, we've discussed this before, where we were discussing about how they were created. The SSS today reports to the president. The police reports to the president. NIA reports to the president. But if you look conversely at what is happening in the United States, the security agencies don't report to the president. The FBI report to the Ministry of Justice. The CIA reports, differently too. But all of them, their allegiance is to the Constitution of the country, not to the president. That's why if a president misbehaves, and many in Nigeria here, we don't believe that the president can misbehave. If the president misbehaves or commits a crime, he can be arrested.
Yeah.
That's what happened to Nixon.
And tried.
Yes, and tried and jailed.
Yeah.
That's what happened to Nixon when he felt that the Secret Service is going to protect him against the FBI. And Kissinger told him, you better look through your window. Those Secret Service people you are depending on have gone on recess because they feel that they are not going to fight each other. Security agencies are not going to fight each other because of you. You've committed a crime, go and resign. Otherwise, they will come and arrest you. And he resigned. And that's how it should be, because they report to the allegiance is to the Constitution. Here, it is to the president. So how can you arrest your boss? It becomes a problem. See what I mean? And then with all these people trying to satisfy the boss, we'll start to operate. Even Nigeria here today, for instance, we have the Joint Intelligence Board, where all the security agencies go and meet, maybe once a month or once in 2 weeks, I don't know the regularity now. And the National Security Advisor is the chairman. But I don't believe that they also even open all their cards on the table there. Because they will say what they have to say there, and then of course go back to the president and tell him, this is what actually is the situation.
So everybody gives different information.
Yeah, we believe in eye service a lot, and this rivalry continues. This non-sharing, continues. But I need to mention here too, sometimes security agencies don't share because they don't want the information they have to leak. Because you see, if I share certain information, the receiver might not give it the amount of protection that it needs. And he might go ahead and just expose it. And that is very dangerous, because Sometimes
What
information.
does that say of the receiver then?
Well, sometimes they are not even aware or know the severity of that information that they are receiving. Because
But what about in cases where the information you're going to disclose is one that is going to be actioned by another agency?
yeah, you tell them, you give it to them, and of course they will action it. Because if we catch an illegal alien now, for instance, the DSS caught an illegal alien somewhere, they are not going to deport him. They will send him to immigration to deport him. So they are the actionable agency that will do that, you know. But again, if I give you the information, I give you the person, and of course sometimes the DSS will walk through sources, people who are going to give informants, and we give you certain information, and you now go ahead and be very careless about it. You might even compromise some of these sources, so they don't share it. So that's the other side of it.